Hey Goonz, I have a little bit of a special video for you guys. Recently I picked up a deck of tarot cards. They're pretty cool. They're, dragon themed. Uh, and I just kind of want to do a little tarot reading for you guys. So let me try and shuffle these. They're pretty old, so it's a little difficult to shuffle. I think I'm doing an alright job. They stick to each other, makes it difficult to do anything. Let me just put them over there. Okay, so what I want you to do is focus on a particular question about your future that you want answered. What I'm going to do is then reveal cards from this deck of tarot cards in a particular order corresponding to your general condition regarding your question. The first card that we turn over will represent yourself as you are now. The next three cards will represent the immediate future. And then the next three cards after that may or may not happen in the far future, depending on which actions you take between now and then. So let's get started. The first card we draw is the Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups is a card in the Minor Arcana from the Suit of Cups, which represents the element of water and shows like emotions and feelings, that kind of stuff. The Seven of Cups in particular represents confusion or the need to get your priorities in order. And I mean, that makes a lot of sense. This is the first card we draw, so this represents yourself in your initial condition. So obviously, if you're asking a question, you're sort of unsure about it. So you'll probably need to sort away some of your feelings before you're ready to receive an answer. The second card, this represents your immediate future, is the Magician. This is from the Major Arcana, which you probably recognize from like pop culture. Pulling the Magician means putting across your message to a much wider audience. I think it'll be up to you to decide how you want to act based on this, but maybe that can mean like telling your friends about the question or possibly the answers received during this divination. The third card, which still represents your immediate future, is Blueprint. This is a rare joker that copies the ability to its immediate right. Since we're putting it right next to the Magician, this doubles its effect. It's difficult to interpret something like this, but maybe you should put across your message to like an even wider audience, or do it like twice or something. Anyway, we're gonna draw the fourth card. This is the last card that represents your immediate future. This is a library card. What I'm actually gonna do is use this to check out a book I have right here, House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. This is kind of a weird metafiction book with a hard to understand plot, but I think it's a really fun read. I read it in a book club with some of my friends, and we met every week to discuss what we thought was really going on with the plot, and I think that's definitely the way to enjoy this book. So now the next three cards we draw will represent your far future. Dividing this far in advance leads to unsure results, so what I try to interpret for these next three cards will be dependent on what you do during your immediate future, which will then affect the far future, right? Let me get started. The first card is a basic forest. You can tap this to add 1 green mana to your mana pool, which is actually perfect because I have 5 treasure tokens. I'll tap the forest and then sacrifice 3 of these to bring out my commander, the Necrobloom. The Necrobloom, this is basically Land of the Dead, if you know what that card is. If you have 7 different named lands, it'll create a 2/2 zombie creature token. If you have less than 7, it'll just instead create a 0/1 green plant creature token. And then also lands in my graveyard have Dredge 2. If you don't know what that keyword does, basically it means anytime when you draw a card, you can instead dredge, which means draw a card with that keyword from your graveyard, then mill the number of cards that it says. In this case, mill 2. So, let's see. Untap, upkeep, draw. Awesome, that's Soul Ring. Soul Ring is perfect right now. I'll tap my forest to play this, and then I'll add 2 colorless mana, tap Soul Rain, and I will attach that to my Tauros. Cool. That'll let it perform clean hit, 50 plus damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is an evolution Pokemon, this attack does 50 more damage, which is perfect because my opponent has a Mousehold. It's a stage 1, 80 hit points. So Mousehold is KO'd. That is wonderful. Okay. Now our final card will be a draw 4 wild card. I'm going to go ahead and play that. So you have to draw 4 cards and then skip your next turn, and I'm going to make the color red. Again, this is difficult to interpret, but you could say this means, like, in the far future, as long as you follow this divination, maybe you'll receive a big payoff with the answer. Drawing 4 cards, something like that. Okay. I hope this was informative. Make sure you drop a like and comment down below what your question was. Cool. I'll see you guys later.